What's up, nerds? Welcome to Them Nerds. I am Tony, and that is Jerry. And this is the Nerdy News. Cue theme music. We're not famous enough to have that sort of thing. But, yeah. Is that the news thing? I don't know. Anyway,
yes,
it is now. Lots of news to get to today. First of all, we are giving away this Baron Zemo Funko Pop at the conclusion of Disney Plus Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. All you have to do is interact with us here on YouTube or on social media at We Them Nerds on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you'll be entered to win. You could win just like SH Cosplay won this Wanda Funko Pop. You could be a winner, a real live winner. Just like us, we're winners. Yep. My mom told me so. All right.
Winning.
It's just pure win. First of all, first news nugget that I wanted to get to is a Star Wars related nugget. And as you can see on my background, this is the masterpiece that is the 2003 Genndy, I never know how to pronounce his first name, Tartakovsky Clone Wars series. It is not canon. It preceded the Clone Wars that we all know and love that you can see on Disney Plus right now. And the reason why it's my background for this newscast is because it is coming to Disney Plus. It's still not canon, but it's going to be on there. And it is just, it's a masterpiece. It follows the most famous Jedi Knights from that period, Anakin and Obi-Wan. Behind me, of course, Mace Windu, Master Yoda, Shaak Ti. It's really stylistically cool, and it is going to be coming to Disney Plus along with the animated Ewok series on April 2nd, Friday, April 2nd. So 3 seasons of Clone Wars, 2 seasons of animated Ewoks. I'm going to be up to my elbows in animation, Gerald.
Sounds like a fun weekend.
Elbows. All right. So from one set of aliens to another, we had some great renewal news. Tell us about it, Jerry.
One of the best TV shows to come out this spring has been Resident Evil on Sci-Fi. If you
Resident Alien.
What do I call it? Resident Evil?
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah. He wants to eat a kid.
He's evil, but yet lovable. And it's been on Sci-Fi. This show is absolutely hilariously funny. And then also, like, it's just a good show.
Yeah.
You know, I normally would tell you to sleep on shows that come out of Sci-Fi, but this isn't one to miss. And it just got renewed for a season 2.
That's right. Super excited that it has been renewed for a second season. Of course, it does have source material in comic books, so they have a lot to draw from. But it based on what we've seen, the writing is really good. So even if they didn't have the source material, they are knocking it out of the park. This show is so good.
It's like if I was to explain why it's so funny, it's like when you watch Guardians of the Galaxy and you see Drax. It's like this kind of fish out of water kind of idea.
Yeah,
it's absolutely hilarious. But the whole cast is hilarious. So
yeah, like you said, Sci-Fi usually it's like I'm not sure if I really want to deal with that. But Alan Tudyk as the star kind of made me jump on it. You know, I didn't even know the show was coming out. Jerry said, "Hey, you should check this show out," and I'm so glad I did. I have a couple episodes to catch up on, but it's super good. All right, so going from something that is instantly hilarious to something that maybe is not instantly hilarious, we're going to talk about some DC news. As I sit here today, I have watched about half of the Snyder Cut, and it's okay. It's all right. But
as I sit here today, I remember about 3% of the first original cut. So
I don't remember any of the Whedon version.
No, I thought I remembered a lot more, and then I was told that wasn't the movie.
We'll talk about the Snyder Cut at a later date. But
it's going to take us 6 months to get through.
That's right. That's right. As far as DC on the big screen, the only news this week is that they are developing a full-length feature on the hero from the Justice Society of America, Our Man. Our Man has most recently been seen on the TV show Stargirl as one of the new version of the Justice Society on that show. It's a cool character. He has a magic amulet that gives him like superhuman powers once a day for 1 hour.
Yeah, I heard is Snyder going to write and direct it, and then it lasts 18 hours.
It's the 6 hour man. I'm looking forward to that film if and when it actually comes out. We'll see. Hour Man was originally they're going to do a TV show on CW about Hour Man a while back, and
That'll be perfect because it's 1 hour a week.
That's right. He just has powers the whole time.
Yes.
Starts at the beginning. Let's go. Speaking of CW and DC, let's go to some DC/Arrowverse sort of news. We've talked during this sort of nerdy news time about the Arrowverse and its ever-changing sort of makeup. There is a new superhero show coming to the CW based on the hero Naomi, who is not like a super well-known DC hero, only debuting in 2019 in the comics, but she is an Omega level hero. She has energy powers, and they ordered a season of the show. So that's going to be coming. No word on whether it's going to be connected to anything, but with DC, you never know. Painkiller, which is a spinoff of Black Lightning, was recently teased. We knew that was coming, but there was a teaser attached to a Black Lightning promo this past week. Power Girl, which was another show that was supposed to come out on CW, dead. That is not coming out. Batwoman, The Flash, and Black Lightning continue. They're on right now. Of course, Black Lightning, this is the final season, so it's going to be gone.
Lightning for Naomi.
Yeah, they're just
they can't have two energy shows.
No. Although they managed to have two heroes on Black Lightning, one called Black Lightning and one just called Lightning. I thought that was kind of odd. Anyway, Supergirl coming back on March 30th. Stargirl coming back during the summer. And so it looks like our slate of DC TV shows on the CW is going to look like this: Naomi, Painkiller, Batwoman, Flash, Stargirl, Legends of Tomorrow, and I think that's all. Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
Duh. So they're going to have a lot of superhero stuff to draw from, and it remains to be seen whether they're going to try to connect it like they did with the original few shows from the Arrowverse. They're really picking off all the original Arrowverse shows. I mean, Arrow disappeared. Flash is still hanging on inexplicably. This last episode was just bad, man.
I mean, I couldn't even tell you. I got tired of the amount of times they just brought a speedster in for a villain. Like, it's just every time.
Well, if you can get past the speedster thing, his solution to every problem is love.
Well, yeah, it's like everything. It's like Wonder Woman during 1984. They use Care Bear stare and
like, oh no, I've lost my connection to the Speed Force. I better love Iris harder. Yeah. And here it is. I'm fast again.
That's how it works, I think.
Hey.
Science.
That's how it works. All right. So I'm hoping that it does all end up being connected. I liked that overarching sort of thing that they did with the DC TV shows. I thought that's one of the things that made it special. And then when they started picking off Arrow and Supergirl and Black Lightning, it kind of lost its luster. I mean, they spent all this time trying to build up this like TV version of Justice League when they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover.
Yeah.
And now what?
Nothing. It's like building up to a really big movie and then recasting everybody after it, only to then recut the movie and make it 6 hours longer.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
So going from our friends at Detective Comics over to Marvel, what do we know about Marvel, Jerry? What's going on in the world of Marvel?
We got some big things popping over in Marvel. They got some announcements coming out that Venom 2, Bring on the Carnage, I believe is what it's called, right?
Absolute Carnage, something with Carnage. There's Hella.
Bring it on.
I think it's called Hella Carnage.
So much Carnage.
Carnage Asada.
There's Carnage everywhere. That comes out on September 17th. If the Lord be, don't hold these dates to be. If it has to do with the public viewing, just take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, it's written in pencil.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll be completely honest. I never even watched the first Venom movie.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it was good. I just never did. I even bought it and I just never watched it. That's even worse.
It's it was surprisingly good given my expectations.
Yeah.
And now knowing that it's going to be sort of the impetus for this whole like Spider-Verse that Sony's going to have with Morbius, which by the way is going to be coming out when? January
2022.
Yeah, so we've got Morbius, we've got there's talk of a Craven film, talk of Miles Morales being thrown in the mix. Knowing that Venom is kind of the jumping off point for all that stuff, I'm a little more excited for the sequel.
Yeah, I think that now that we know for a fact that Disney and Sony plan on working together, and I think that the writers are working well together, I think the scripts will get better. I have every intention of watching Venom. It just hasn't happened yet. I haven't found it in me to be, have the time to be able to watch it, but someday. And then also Agent Ross will be coming back to Black Panther 2. And so that's pretty big, I think that actually I kind of like him because he's kind of like the new Coulson, and we all know that I don't have very fond memories of Coulson.
I was gonna say you hated the old Coulson, so
yeah. This Coulson's like way cooler.
Yeah, I love the idea of Ross coming back for that very reason. He was kind of that like non-powered government rank and file kind of agent. Yeah. Who finds himself in an extraordinary situation and rises to the occasion.
He loves going on an adventure.
He does.
I mean, that's from a different movie he's in, but he's still very vengeful,
Yes, there were decidedly fewer hobbits in Black Panther than in his previous adventure.
That we saw.
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's going to be.
They're going to have a whole series. That's what's going to be the episode.
The World of Wakanda, featuring Wakandan hobbits. Oh, my Lord.
And then Yondu has definitely been confirmed to be dead. He will not be coming back. He's done. James Gunn has made it clear that he will not be bringing the character back. The character is done. Finito. Complete.
That's lame.
Buried.
I like James, what's his name, Rooker? The actor. And I love the character Yondu. Yondu was one of my favorite comic book characters as a kid just because of the way he looked. I think it would be cool if they did a multiverse version of Yondu where he came back actually more like the Native American inspired Yondu that we got in the comics with the big mohawk and like the big long bow,
Yeah.
And to have him interact with Quill and for Quill to be like, you remind me of somebody.
Yeah. And then speaking of people who are also done, they won't be coming back. Chris Evans, Captain America, he's not coming back.
According to the ice.
Which Feige, I never know how to say that man's name, but we don't know each other like that anyways. He says it's not happening.
Yeah. Well, this news started floating around that Evans had agreed to come back, and Evans himself went on Twitter and was like, that's news to me. Yeah. And now Feige is like, no, you heard it from the man himself. This is not happening. I still don't know if I believe it.
He has not done a sinker film like Dr. Dolittle yet. So maybe give it a chance. Let him do 3 or 4 bad rom-coms, and next thing you know, he's like, hey, I hear you have a shield in a museum.
Well, he could always come back. I mean, we know that he was traipsing through the multiverse.
Yeah.
So all it takes is to open a little tear in the multiverse and out pops Captain America. And he's like, hello.
Frolicking.
Yeah.
Dropping a gem.
Holding hands with Peggy, skipping through the meadows.
This is a basket of stones.
An infinity stone for you. An infinity stone for you.
And then we heard word, grain of salt, that Black Widow and Falcon and the Winter Soldier are connected.
Yes. I also heard from a very good source, his name's Jerry, that there's a possibility we're also going to get breaking news. We're also going to get possibly, and this is going to be our Mephisto moment here, Omega Red as part of this show.
That's what I've heard. And I actually think this makes a lot of sense. And this is the reason why I think it makes sense. First off, Omega Red is Russian. So there goes.
Boom. All the Russians, one movie.
Don't even need to explain anything else.
Nope.
Secondly, in Deadpool 2, Omega Red was supposed to be introduced. That he was fully realized, down to the prosthetics already made. Everything was ready for it to go. When Disney made the acquisition of Fox, they made them not use him in that movie, which leads me to believe they already had plans for him. So I think that there's a real reason to believe he is in this movie.
I think we're going to see him.
I don't think he'll be called a mutant.
No.
But I think that he's going to be in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely see that happening. He, like you said, he's a Russian.
Yeah.
And his heyday was in the 80s during all the Cold War, 70s and 80s Cold War stuff, which is going back to Bucky and his whole origin. So
I think it makes sense. I'm sure that, in Black Widow, you see that there's a portion of it that takes place inside of a Russian prison. So there you go. But that's all the news I got from Marvel. What's next?
All right. One last little nugget before we send you on your way without your supper. No, that's just me having flashbacks. Game of Thrones. Remember that show? It was really good before the last episode. Remember that?
Still good on the last episode. It was just a stupid ending.
I didn't mind the ending, but Game of Thrones already was in talks for the spinoffs to happen. They had already announced these existing spinoffs, House of the Dragon, which we've talked about here on the show, following the Targaryens. And then there was also a spinoff announced, The Tales of Dunk and Egg, which is the stupidest name. I hope they change that freaking name. But following Sir Duncan the Tall and Aegon V. Targaryen, 90 years before the main series takes place.
Yeah, that was an animated series, I believe.
Right, yeah. An adult-themed animated series.
Eon Flux.
Right, yes. Aegon Targaryen Flux. The new spinoffs that we've heard, the first one, and apparently this is the one that is the most advanced in terms of production, is The Sea Snake, which follows Corlys Valerion. These people and their names, dude.
I can't say regular people's names.
Follows this particular character in their travels around the world, including going up to the top of the world and finding all of that icy, dragony, undead-y kind of stuff. Second spinoff that we're hearing is going to happen is all about Flea Bottom, which is the poverty-stricken area of King's Landing, where we got to know Gendry, the bastard son of Baratheon.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was another Connery there. You're welcome.
Flea Bottom is like Nashville.
Apologies to our viewers in Tennessee. And the last...
You can leave a comment below and tell us how it's not. You got a chance to win this Funko Pop.
And finally, the last spinoff that has been talked about is called 10,000 Ships. And it follows Princess Nymeria and kind of the beginnings of House Martell and some of the stuff that happened with House Martell back in the olden days. Dragons.
Must be the dog, but who knew?
Huh?
Nymeria, that was the dog's name.
Was it?
Yeah. What's her name?
Named after a princess, Jerry. The dog was named after royalty.
Who knew?
I don't know, dude. There's like 83 people in this freaking show called Aegon Targaryen. How the hell should I know who's who?
There's only one Kevin Feige, and every week I give him a new name.
Oh, thanks, George R. Martin, for saving me the trouble of learning more than 3 names, because every character on the show is named the same thing. All right. That, I think, does it for us here. The news of the day. Thanks for joining us. Join us again next time for such expert analysis.
Yeah. I just also like to put a disclaimer here because it's breaking news. You know, Nashville is a lovely place. It has brisket, blues.
Yes.
Steel drums. That might be Jamaica.
Steel drums.
I think it's not far from Dolly World.
Call me now. I don't know. Where's my background should be a shark and I should be jumping over it. We've jumped the shark. All right, ladies and germs, be good. Be good to each other.
Stay nerdy.
Later, nerds.